Everyone's talking about finding and launching winning Amazon products, but nobody seems to talk about how to build a winning Amazon brand. So in this video, I'm going to break down how to build a brand identity and what all the different names are when it comes to Amazon, such as your company name, your brand name, your store name, and your product name. Welcome back to FBA Unfiltered. If you're new here, my name is Taylor, and we are documenting step-by-step behind the scenes how we're launching this new product on Amazon FBA. So if you want to see this product launch in the next couple days, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Now let's dive into this video and talk about building a brand. All right, here we are in the checklist. We're doing module 5, minimum viable product and brand identity. I want to go over a couple quick concepts, such as the minimum viable product or MVP, your USP or UVP, your unique selling point or unique value proposition, and your ideal customer profile or customer avatar. We're also going to quickly go through what all the different names are that you're going to be coming across as you set up your Amazon selling account, your logo design. What is a minimum viable product? This is an important concept, even if it doesn't apply specifically to your product. It's a good thing to understand. And a minimum viable product is essentially, what is the core product that you want to offer? What is the minimal thing that you can provide the customer that solves the problem that you want to solve or provides the value that you want to provide? A real quick example of this would be, let's say you wanted to launch a set of flashcards, or let's say you wanted to launch a 3-volume set of books. Now, you could just go ahead and make that flashcard set, have it printed, have it packed and shipped into Amazon and launch that product. Likewise, you could go ahead and print all of the copies of all 3 volumes of your books, have them bound, have them packaged together in a cool little 3-volume set, and have that sent into Amazon and sold as well. But what if you wanted to test whether this product would actually sell before making a large investment? So in this example, what you could do is you could actually just create the digital version of the product. So if it was a set of flashcards, you could make the digital set of the flashcards. You probably would already have made this anyways because you're going to have to submit these files to the manufacturer to have them print. So you could just take that digital file and you could do a couple things with it. You could make a lead magnet, right? So you could create a little landing page and you could drive traffic there, offering people a free download of these flashcards, and they could get them. You could ask them for feedback, et cetera, et cetera. You could see how many people opt into this lead magnet and get a good idea of what the demand is like for this product before you've actually gone ahead and manufactured it. If you wanted to take this a step further, consider the example of the 3-book volume. So you could take that first volume, that first book out of the 3, and you could take that digital file, which again, you would have already created because you would have to send something to the manufacturer to print, and you uploaded it onto Amazon KDP. You self-published it on KDP, and you now could see for real how many people buy it because you'd have it listed for sale. So you could get a really good gauge of demand, and then you could go, oh, wow, this is selling well. Let me bundle it with the other 3 books, and let's print it, and let's get it on Amazon as this nice collector set, right? So that's just an example, but this could apply to multiple different products. Another way this could be applied, for example, is with the cat calming collars that we looked at recently. So let's say you wanted to create a cat calming collar, but you wanted it to have a breakaway feature and you wanted all of these different features in the collar. And essentially what you were going to do is like put the little diffuser, put the calming ingredient on a little attachment that just goes on the collar. And then you'd sell the attachment with the pheromones, and you would sell the collar with the breakaway clasp, and the whole thing. It would be a little bundle like that. Well, you could just take the diffuser element that fits on the cat collar, and you could make that available. You could produce that first because that is actually the item that's providing the customer the benefit. That's actually where the calming agent is. They could put it on their own collar, and you could see, okay, this is getting traction. Let me offer the collar, my own collar, along with this product as well. So that's kind of the idea of the minimum viable product. It's important because, one, it helps you distill down to the essential of what your product is. So what is your product in a very simple way? Like one sentence, describe what your product is. With the minimum viable product, you can approach this in a very cost-effective way so that you don't incur as large of an initial investment and you have less risk involved with your launch. So that is a brief summary of what the minimum viable product concept is. Now, again, it might not apply one-to-one to your product idea, but it is a good thought exercise to make sure that your core offering is clearly articulated and you've pared it down to what is the most simple and cost-effective way to solve the problem that your customer is facing or provide the value that your customer is seeking. Okay, similar idea here with the unique selling point or unique value proposition. This would be, simply put, why should someone pick your product in particular? And you should answer in one sentence. So let's see some actual examples because I know this might sound kind of abstract. So this is a blog post from Shopify about what is a unique value proposition. And you'll see the goal of this is to provide your ideal customer with a clear understanding of what your product is, why they need it, and why yours is different, or what, why this, and why us. So let's look at some real world examples. So there's a brand, Onsen Towels, and their UVP is more towel, less fluff, lightweight, absorbent, and satisfying texture. This brand is actually known for its particular design, a waffle weave, but that's a feature. What you want to stress instead are the unique specific advantages and benefits that the waffle weave feature provides to the customer. All right, and the last one here, this Ember mug. Ember's patented technology allows you to set the precise temperature of your hot beverage so you can enjoy your drink from the first sip to the last drop. They are a self-heating mug and it's pretty new. So they put more emphasis on the why this. So that first sip to the last drop over the why us. They only briefly mentioned that this technology of theirs is patented. Okay, so those are 3 real-world examples, just really quick, of what this concept is all about. This is helpful because it's going to come in handy when we start to generate our customer profile or our customer avatar. All right, so both of these things are going to come in handy when we move on to this next step, which is the ideal customer profile or customer avatar. So this is who picks your product. Who is your product for? Now, these things kind of work together. So let me show you a little graph. So here in this visual representation, you can see we have the value proposition and the customer profile, and they kind of inform each other. They work together. So you want to come up with these things in tandem with one another. And I'll be providing some handy ChatGPT prompts that you can use to help you in this process. But you'll see here, they've got the product or service, they've got what they're calling the gain creators or the features of the product, and the pain relievers, the things that are going to solve the customer's problems. And then in the customer profile, they have the customer's pains, the customer's gains. So what are the customer's dreams and hopes? What do they want? And this says customer jobs, but this would be anything like who the customer is, what they do, what they're all about. Okay, so you can see these things work in tandem to help us start to generate our brand identity. All right, so coming down here to brand identity, once you've started working on this, you can start working on your actual brand identity. And I have some ChatGPT prompts here that we can go over quickly. I'll link these down here in a moment. Okay, so here is a whole series of prompts to help you start to sort this out. So you would ask ChatGPT to suggest brand names, to craft a mission and vision statement, to create a logo design concept, a color scheme, and to plan for your long-term positioning. So what exactly are all these different names? You might come across these. You've got your company name, your brand name, your store name, and your product name. All right, so let's go from most generic to most specific. So the most generic is probably going to be your company name. If you've been following along, I recommend that you just create any LLC name is fine, right? So this company name is the name of your registered business entity, whether that's an LLC, whether it's an S Corp, or whatever it might be. And that company name can be whatever you want, as long as it's not already taken. And this is just used for your tax purposes, to get your EIN and to set up your business checking and credit accounts. Your brand name is going to now move into the space of this brand identity. And the brand name is what you're going to trademark. So you're going to trademark a brand name, and this brand name will be owned by your company, and you will register the brand name's trademark under your company. So again, this brand name is getting more specific. This has to do with your actual brand. Now, the store name is what is on your Amazon Seller Central. All right, so on your Amazon Seller Central, when you're setting this up, this is your store name, okay? And you can change this in your seller profile. You can go to that seller profile and you can edit that name, okay? but that's what your store name is. This is the name that people will see when they want to provide feedback on your store itself, not just your products, but at you as a seller. Okay, so here's another image that really captures all of these different names. All right, so we have the legal name down here, which is Fantasia Trading LLC. That's their business name or their company name. Then we have their brand name, Anchor, that they've decided to feature in the title for their listing. Then down here, we have the store name, Anchor Direct. So you can see ships from Amazon, but sold by Anchor Direct. This is your store name. Okay, so that's briefly what the difference is between all of these names. Your brand name and your store name can be identical if you'd like. They can also be different, but they should be related, okay? Because we want people to understand that just in like the last example, Anchor Direct was their store name and their brand name was Anchor. That's that. Now your product name is the easiest and most straightforward. This is just what you're calling your product. It does not have to necessarily be a one-to-one of your brand name. However, if in the title of your product you want to include your brand name, that's fine to do. But your product name is just whatever you want to call your product. That's not something that's going to be licensed or trademarked or anything like that. It's the brand name that's going to be trademarked. All right, so as you've been moving through this process, hopefully you've been thinking about a company name and you've checked to make sure that one is available and you've set up your business. Then you're also doing the same thing with your brand name. You're thinking of a brand name that takes into consideration what your product is, what's unique about it, and who it's for. And you're checking to see if that brand name is already taken and you're moving along in the process of registering that brand name as a trademarked brand. But let's go down to logo design because this can play a factor in your trademark for your brand name. So your logo design is something we've gone over before. You can quickly go to ChatGPT and have a mock-up made of your logo design. Just like we did here with the good old stainless steel oil filter pot, we had it create an image of the logo for the brand name Kitchen Sage. Okay? So there it came up with something. Now, what I want to point out is when you trademark something, you can do a word mark. This would just be trademarking Kitchen Sage, the words put together in that order. You could trademark that as a brand name. That would be called a word mark. Now, if you wanted to include the actual logo design, this kind of leaf design, that would be a trademark, not a word mark. The process of setting this up is quite similar. All that changes is you're going to include the graphic design in with your trademark application, and you'll actually have to describe in words what your logo is. That's how you can move forward creating your brand name and your logo. You can work with ChatGPT to come up with brand names, check if they're already taken, and then you can ask it to come up with a logo for that brand name. Then you could go over to Fiverr or Upwork and work with a freelancer to actually finalize this idea, and then you would submit it as a trademark. Again, with another freelancer's help is what I would recommend, or you could go through that process on your own. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please leave a like. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And if you'd like your own free copy of the step-by-step checklist, be sure to check the link in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.